This has major implications for the Chicago Bulls. We're going to be looking at 5 key questions that are surrounding the Chicago Bulls as they head into training camp. This is your host, Rico Greenhowe, and you have found yourself on another episode of Bulls Digest. And so today we're looking at these 5 questions that absolutely have major implications on the Chicago Bulls, not just for this upcoming season, but also too for the future of the Chicago Bulls, because let's be clear, if they answer these questions, they have a clearer path, and hopefully we as Chicago Bulls fans see a team that is not just going to be in the middle of the Eastern Conference, but can actually contend for a championship again. And so you can find this article everywhere, and it's just 5 questions surrounding the Chicago Bulls. We go into point number 1, which is, what is this team? And nobody really knows. All right. And so I love what this article has to say. Generally, you can look at a payroll. You can see if there's max players or superstar players on a team, and you can generally tell what type of team it is. Are they middle of the pack in the playoffs? Are they a tanking team? What type of team is it? Is it going to be on the rise to be a contender? Like, we are none of that. At this point in time, I think the Chicago Bulls are likely to be at the middle of the bottom of the Eastern Conference and likely looking to get into a play-in situation. But nobody really knows that, because we don't know what we're going to do with Zach Lavine. We don't know if he's going to stay the whole year. We're not even sure if he's going to be able to take off with this current team, even though it looks like it is going to be a great fit for him now that we have Josh Giddey, Coby White, and then him. Obviously, we have Ayo. We have an exciting rookie with Manis Buzelis, but there's so many question marks around this team, and the Chicago Bulls really have not pivoted from the older team just yet. And so we're not very sure what type of team we have, and we need to figure this out, because once we figure out what type of team we are and we get that identity, now we can start to build this thing out right and then start to hopefully become a contending team at some point in time. All right, so next, whose team is this? All right, so I just talked about Zach Lavine being on the team, and he's apparently buying in. He really believes in this version of the team. And then also, too, Billy Donovan has come out on the radio station interview here just a couple days ago with AK and said that, yes, they believe in Zach Lavine. They're excited to see him in camp. And I think a lot of people can argue that, well, Zach Lavine can absolutely score this basketball. And so, that would lead you to believe that maybe Zach Lavine still wants to have this team be his team. But in order for him to be moved, or in order for somebody to come in and possibly trade for him, then it would suggest that he's going to have to take less usage. And that opens the door for a Josh Giddey. That opens the door for a Coby White. That'll open the door for Patrick Williams, Manis Buzelis, Ayo Dosunmu, depending on what the opportunity is. But I think personally it's going to be Coby White. I think that every time you've given Coby White more responsibility, he's absolutely taken off. And no, he doesn't have to go out there and average 25, 30 points a game, even though I think he will do it. But I think that it's about being efficient, and that's the same thing for Zach Lavine as well. And I think that Coby White can do that. I think that he can be a very good playmaker. I've said it before that, I don't like the fact that they're necessarily going to take the ball out of his hand, but I do like the fact that he's even said it in his quote that he is not a traditional point guard, and he understands how to be an effective basketball player. And I think that he knows when to turn it on, for sure, because working with DeMar DeRozan, allowing DeMar to work in the clutch and him work alongside him, I think did wonders for Coby White. I feel like that experience is going to help him. And I think that he has said several times that he is willing to be the leader for our franchise. I think that we have a franchise player with this player. And I'm just hoping that we can build appropriately at this point in time, because we don't want to get into a situation where maybe we put the focus on Zach Lavine as the franchise player. It didn't work out too well. We didn't build correctly. And so we have to make sure we don't do those same mistakes. All right. So next, when we look at it here, the next question for the Chicago Bulls is going to be what's going on with Lonzo Ball. So Lonzo Ball and his health is going to be a big concern for the Chicago Bulls, obviously, because now you're saying to yourself, okay, can Lonzo get back to where he was before? Is he a player that, is just going to be on a minutes restriction? Is he just more of a long-term play? I think he's going to be more of a long-term play based off what Billy Donovan had to say. He said it before in his radio station interview that they're looking to play the long game with Lonzo Ball because he wants to continue his career in the NBA. I think he's going to be more like a Sean Livingston type of player. And I think the Chicago Bulls really are going to have to be open to trading him if a team wants to swoop in and grab him and they feel like it is going to be a piece they need to get to the championship. I think that you go ahead and you give Lonzo Ball that opportunity. I'm definitely rooting for him. I think that he is going to be terrific for our players as far as teaching them the game, perhaps giving them insight, giving him some of that special IQ that he's had on the court, on the offense and the defensive end. And I'm hoping that really now starts to maybe Ayo Dosunmu, Modest Buzelis, those players start to really soak this in, because I think that you get that experience from Lonzo Ball, but I think he's going to be on a minutes restriction. Not sure he's going to be a major impact for the Chicago Bulls. Even though I'm rooting for him. So, and then the third question was Patrick Williams, right? And is he injured already? And so very worrisome that we didn't hear too much from Billy Donovan. They were very silent about this. They didn't say hey, he did in fact have a setback. All they said was he's ramping up. I don't think it's a good sign when you've invested $90 million into him and you think that he's going to be a huge piece for you, and you're uncertain what is going to happen with him. So I don't like that aspect that Patrick Williams is just. Nobody knows. And so, I've said it before that if he's not healthy enough, I think that it's going to be hard for him to get back. If Modest Buzelis really takes off, and who knows with that situation in Modest Buzelis, and even if we do get off to a slow start and then Modest Buzelis is not the answer, do we think that Patrick Williams is going to take that next leap after a slow start? And so there's so many questions here, and I think that this is huge because the Chicago Bulls have really invested a lot into Patrick Williams, and I think that they feel like he's a major building block piece for us. So that is going to be a huge question moving forward, not just for this season, but also too for the long term. All right. And so as we move into the very last point here and we talk about it, it is, with Ayo, it is with Coby White, it is with these players, and it is, could the Bulls be sneaky good? And, can they be sneaky good? I don't know. I think that it is possible that they can perhaps qualify for the playoffs. I'm not sure that qualifying for the playoffs just outright, and I'm saying not being in a play-in situation, I think that would be a shocker to me. As far as just making some real noise in the Eastern Conference, I'm not sure about that. I don't think that this is the type of team that is going to be built for that. I think that at best, it's going to be sneaky good if they literally are not in the play-in situation. And I'm not saying that that's a great thing at all, because I don't think that we are built to really make noise in the playoffs. And I'm sure that would probably hurt us when it comes down to the pick and everything else. And so, I think that being sneaky good would be at best that, and I'm not sure that that's what we want. But let me know in the comments what you think. And so before we jump out of here, I just wanted to go ahead and pay a little tribute to Derrick Rose. And I think that Derrick Rose, to me as a Chicago Bulls fan, just was huge. I've personally got a chance to watch Michael Jordan play. I've seen Derrick Rose and the young Bulls, as they were growing. And I just think that Derrick Rose, man, if he would have been healthy, I think the Chicago Bulls perhaps could have won a championship, no doubt about it. And I know we're playing the what-if game and everything else, but there's so much about Derrick Rose that it just stems even just from off the court. When you see his story, it's just amazing how he came to the league, went through what he went through with Memphis and losing in the national championship game like that, and then falling to the Chicago Bulls by luck like that was just incredible that, the Bulls got him. But got a chance to to read his book, he talks about working with Tom Thibodeau, Joakim Noah, being teammates with Tyrus Thomas, talks about that time when LeBron, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade could have come to Chicago. I think it's an interesting read. Definitely make sure you check that out. But one of the things that I will never forget is Media Day, when he was asked about being an MVP. And I think that this says everything about Derrick Rose, and this is why we love him so much. And this is why we love when this team is good. But I just want to go ahead and play it just to give a shout out to him. Man, I think it was just, it's great.
You won the Rookie of the Year award. You made your first All-Star team a year ago. Now people around the league are talking about you taking the next jump to becoming a top 10 player in the league. I know you've never been one to back away from a challenge. What kind of expectations do you set for yourself individually going into year 3?
It's high. The way I look at it within myself, why not? Why can't I be the MVP of the league? Why can't I be the best player in the league? I don't see why. Why?
Man, I love that. Just why not? Why not? And I love that he asked that question and he goes out there and he gets the MVP. And it's just legendary statements like that, man, that it just lives on forever. And I think if you've ever had a goal, you've ever wanted to strive for something, you just got to ask yourself, just like the MVP, why not? Why not, man? Why not? Why couldn't you become it? Why couldn't you get there? So I love that about Derrick Rose, and I'll always remember that when it comes down to him. So let me know in the comments what you think about these questions surrounding the Chicago Bulls. Let me know what you think about Derrick Rose. Maybe some of your memories. Do you feel like we could have won a championship with him? Let me know what you're thinking. I just want to thank everybody for liking, sharing, and subscribing. It means a lot to us as we try to reach 5,000 subscribers before the NBA season starts. Want to let you know that 65.3% of you that watch are not subscribed. So please mash that subscribe button for me. And look, man, the Chicago Bulls got a lot of questions, but why not? Why not? Why not the Chicago Bulls? I'll see you on the next one. Peace.